Greetings, sentient beings. This stream is not intended for children. There will be adult language and adult themes. So today I have Linda from a Bit of Tea in Danish with us.
Hi.
And I see Martin in the side chat now.
Yeah, he's just out on the doing his thing. Yeah.
Yep. So we were just talking about some new Lego sets that are out.
Yeah.
So,
we just bought some yesterday, as I said.
Sloth Girl has been liking some of the Friends sets just for the animals they include. So I had to get her the alpaca rescue set.
Okay.
So when her son was here last week, we put that together.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and there's another one that actually has a sloth in it, but it's like close to $100 set. And it's like, I just really want the cute animals. I don't really care about the rest of the set.
Yeah. Hi, Angie. Hi, Dave. Hey, yep. Lone
Hey,
Wanderer.
Angie, Dave, Wanderer.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I'm on a stream.
Wanderer says I am indeed a potato.
Well, aren't we all?
Do you mean a couch potato? That's been happening to a lot of people since we can't go out as much as we're used to.
Hey, Nerdy, we got you a friend.
Hey, Nerdy. Yeah, excuse me, my throat's quite bad right now. I was doing some cleaning and I've inhaled too much of the bleach fumes.
Oh, not good, not good.
No, so my throat's pretty raw at this point.
Yeah. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc. So if anybody else wants to jump in, I sent links out, but if anybody didn't see one yet, let me know. Okay, Wanderer says a couch potato and my belly ate potatoes last night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit of a belly myself because right now, the only thing I've got for the making money is doing online stuff, whereas normally this time of year I would be out there building decks and fences.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to establish a customer base after the move, so nobody around here knows me, and I'm not really likely to get any of that kind of work this year.
No. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
One of my patrons.
Yes,
Yay.
he is my only patron.
Oh, well, he's one of mine, too.
Yep. I was kind of thinking about that because as I understand it, patron, won't send a check out until you've accumulated like $50 in your account.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So with only one patron, it's going to take me a while to get up to the $50.
Yeah. Well, I have only got 4, so.
Doc's getting flirty with you. So, yeah, the other Lego set that's coming out now is that they've got a new pirate ship. And I watched the Bricks Down Under channel. Did a nice review on it.
Okay.
But and then it's a pretty nice, it's a completely brick-built ship. It doesn't have any of the ship hull pieces. But I'd actually want to get 2 of them. And instead of a 3-masted ship, I'd like to put 2 of them together to make a 5-masted one.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a little squat. I'd like to extend it.
Yeah. Oh, I also saw Steamboat Willie when we...
Oh, yeah. I saw that one at Target when I got the dinosaur fossil set.
Yeah, it's cute.
It is, but it's not one I'm going to pick up.
No, we haven't got anything where it would fit in, so...
Yeah, and, it's a nice nod to basically the history of Disney.
Yeah.
So it doesn't tie in that well with any of my particular interests. Even the pirate ship is kind of out there, but pirate ships are cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't really go with anything else I have.
No. Is Amiga here? Oh, yeah. Hi, Amiga.
Oh, welcome back, Amiga. We have missed you.
Are you following me?
Yeah, Geo Sam, had explained to me last week that Amiga Nuts was going to be away for a while, so I didn't know for how long.
Yeah.
Wanderer says some people argue the potatoes are not a vegetable. Well, of course they're a vegetable. What else would they be?
They are part of the Nightshade family.
Hey, I'm sure. But, a vegetable is basically just any part of a plant you can eat.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So, I mean, there are subcategories under vegetable. I mean, it's a tuber because it's a root vegetable.
Yeah.
Okay, Aunt Jura says a starch, and I guess that goes into the same argument of whether or not corn is a vegetable because it's a grain, but are grains necessarily not vegetables? I'm not even sure on that. Okay, well, somebody else in here needs to argue the case for him.
Huh? What?
Okay, and Doc says he would hop in, but his brother's visiting.
Oh.
That's okay, Doc.
Yeah. It's okay, but it's too bad.
Oh.
I love to talk to Doc.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Doc's got some company. I know he gets kind of lonely there.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Doc? You can always write in my Discord.
Okay, Morton's saying you've got a new nerdy stuffed thing.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Okay, I'm curious. What is that?
Could I just show it quickly? Only that, and I got stuff behind. Loads of unwanted stuff.
Hi, Hans.
There we go. Okay.
And Wanderer says potatoes are a gravy vessel. Well, I have said that French fries are not actually a food.
Ooh.
Oh, there's stuff. Oh, that's cute.
That's Nerdy's friend.
Yeah. I have said that French fries aren't actually a food. French fries are just a vehicle for transporting salt and ketchup.
Yeah, French fries is an edible spoon.
Yep. Amiga Nut says you left him in the dungeon.
No, Morten left him in the dungeon.
Okay. So what? You had him locked up in your cellar for a while there?
Yeah, I have a Discord full of dungeons. So which dungeon is it?
Oh, that's why he was gone so long. You forgot which one you left him in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Discord link. Morten? Discord link. My Discord link, please.
That's right, Wander. As long as it's all consenting adults, everything's cool.
Yeah. Somebody left someone in some dungeon. Yes, Amiga.
Actually, before I met my fiance, it would have been about 12 years ago now, I actually was contracted by a couple to help them build some dungeon equipment.
Oh, okay.
So built a St. Andrew's cross and a stretching table.
Oh. Is there something special about the St. Andrew's cross?
Well, the St. Andrew's cross is basically just the giant axe.
Okay.
But yeah, with with wrist and ankle restraints.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So. Why am my micro? Am I coming through loud and clear?
Oh yeah, you sound fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't there anybody else? Yes.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Is nobody else going to join us?
Yeah, I was hoping somebody else would jump in, but so far, no.
Oh, you're stuck with me.
Wanderer, I've had potato casserole, so I guess that's probably along the same lines of what you're saying. Actually, one of the things I miss I haven't had in a long time is potato pancakes.
Potato pancakes?
Yeah, my father used to make them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're I guess it's a rather traditional, Polish or Russian thing. Basically, it's I'm not even quite sure everything that goes into them, but basically shredded potatoes mixed up with eggs and just flattened out into patties.
Okay.
Just one of the things I remember growing up, and I don't really have a lot of positive connections with my father, so just a few things like that. I'll bet Lavender Lady would have a recipe for him. I should ask her about that.
Oh, yeah.
Hans says, I wonder if Danes eat more vegetables than others.
Yes, because our slogan here in Denmark is 6 a day. It's better in Danish.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes the things don't, especially the catchy phrases don't translate well because they lose the rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the recommendation is here, but it is one of the things that generally Americans don't eat enough of. But I do like salads. I had periods where I had gone like weeks at a time, basically eating nothing but different salads.
Oh.
Oh, new microwave potatoes are good. That's one of the things I like about the microwave, that you can take a raw potato and basically get a baked potato in about 6 or 7 minutes.
Oh, Lone. Lone wants to hear me talk dirty to them. Say it in Danish. Linda, says Amiga.
Corn
Okay.
nuggets. Hello, Faye.
Hello.
How
Hi,
are you doing today?
Faye.
I can't hear. What?
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you two?
Good.
Mostly good. My throat's kind of raw.
I can't stay very long because I have to go and babysit my neighbor.
Oh, okay. So, how are the Wonderfloof twins?
Well, Finley just tried to grab my foot and made me accidentally almost step on him and crush him to death. So I'm kind of upset at the moment. I scared him and me, but he ambushed me like a little jerk.
Yeah, Samuelson does that a couple times a week.
I thought I was going to kill him.
I know.
He's so squishy, my little meatball.
I know. I'm always afraid I'm going to trip on him and break his spine.
And then I went, ah! And he ran because he's scared of me now.
Yeah, Sammy runs because he thinks he's in trouble then. It's like, no.
Aww.
You know, I just want to make sure you're not hurt. I don't know if I got a paw or a tail in there.
Well, apparently it's the time to stand on your tippy toes and make yourself extra tall and fluff out your tail. Because we are fighting today.
Ah.
With the sister. Because
Yep.
she's smaller than him, but she can kick his butt. So that's the thing.
Yeah, that's part of them growing up. They've got to sort that out themselves.
Oh, they've been fighting the whole time. I know that. It's just today it's with fluffy tails.
Yep. Well, that's part of it. They've got to, learn the whole threaten and bluff thing.
Yeah, well, if he pushes her, she's going to use him like a bowling ball. I've seen her do it before. She's smaller, but she can really kick some tail.
Yeah, that's it. Had been hoping to get Sammy and Petunia to be able to be together more, but Petunia always bullies him and Sammy won't stand up for himself.
Right.
And Petunia's even been declawed, so Sammy would have a huge advantage if he would ever fight back.
Oh. Oh, poor declawed kitty.
Yeah. No, she was that way at the shelter when we found her.
That's even worse. They went and they disfigured her and then they put her in a shelter?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, she's got some attitude issues. I'm pretty sure she was abused before.
Oh, poor kitty. Mine are just crazy. I'm trying to adjust to kittens. I'm enjoying it though. Hey, you are not a wrecking ball. Calm down. Okay.
Yeah, potatoes have an interesting history that most people aren't even aware of. They were actually only native to South America, and they got brought back to Europe, I think, in like the 1500s. Actually, no, it's probably earlier than that. I'd have to go look that up again. I should have looked it up.
Well, considering that many people assume that they were poisonous.
Yep. Tomatoes also. Actually, tomato in Italian means poison apple.
I thought potatoes were from Peru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's South America in general. I'm not sure if it was specifically.
Well, potatoes can be toxic. So that the idea that they were poisonous isn't exactly wrong. It's just...
Yeah. Well, Linda was pointing out that they are part of the Nightshade family. So, I don't know, while the potatoes are safe to eat, it's possible the parts of the plant that grew above the soil, especially before they were, cultivated and manipulated by people, that it may have been that the flowers themselves could have been poisonous.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that the potato itself can be toxic. When they start to sprout, or there's that green layer that starts to grow?
Oh, yeah.
That in itself is toxic. So if you have potatoes like that and they've got the green thing, and I forget why, but there's something in that that's actually toxic and can build up and kill a human.
Yeah, definitely, Greg. I've done many of them in the campfires.
Well, anyway, if your potatoes begin to sprout, if any of it is turning green, don't eat it.
Yeah, I heard that you're not supposed to eat them once they're sprouted. Actually,
There's two toxins, and I can't pronounce either of them. Solanine and caconine, if I'm saying it correctly, but it leads to cellular disruption. So that's probably why they're nightshades. Right, Linda?
Probably, yeah.
Cellular disruption sounds pretty serious.
Well, I mean, at least it explains the poison apple thing.
Yep. I'm trying to find, because there was... there we are.
Yeah, when I'm looking up like vegetables that can kill you, and it's just green sprouted potatoes.
Yep.
It doesn't say anything about potato flowers or potato leaves, but it does say tomato vines and leaves will kill you. Well, not kill you, but make you very sick.
Okay.
Probably if you ate enough of them, you'd be in trouble.
I had to go back. I found it from one of my favorite history YouTube channels. Okay. There is a history of potatoes. So I put the link in the side chat there.
Thing is, if they thought they were poisonous, why'd they bring them to Europe?
Well, yeah, and they did get them from the from the natives in South America, so they knew other people were eating them.
I do know that one culture didn't think they were good enough for livestock, but they were good enough for the Irish.
Yep.
We'll just leave that alone. Don't growl.
Yeah, they wouldn't feed them to the animals, but for the peasants it was okay.
Okay. Oh! No! Sorry, did you hear that growling?
Nope, I didn't hear it.
Finley got into my grocery bag and grabbed instant potatoes, and he was defending them from Fiona. He is one hungry tiger lately, but I didn't expect him to go after a bag of potatoes. No.
Well, it is potato day.
It is, well, yeah. I love potatoes.
Okay, this was interesting what Aunt Jen was saying, that they have a dormant fungus that becomes activated in the light.
That's interesting.
Okay, so that explains why in the 24-hour grocery stores, why they would cover them up with blankets at night. I know it was something about, keeping them from getting too much light.
Oh! Well, I've always been told that you need to keep potatoes in the dark, but I always thought it was to keep them from sprouting.
Yeah, that's what I had thought too. But apparently there may be more than one reason.
Because... Oh! Sorry, I'm having trouble with my meatball. Ugh.
Okay, somebody had said the pizza came from Norway. That's definitely a new one on me.
Well, when is it a pizza and when is it a flatbread?
Isn't a pizza just a flatbread with sauce and cheese and things on it?
Maybe. Well, that's what I mean. What is the difference?
Well, the flatbread's what you start with. It's just one of the ingredients of pizza.
Oh my... Okay, it's not that he wanted the potatoes. He wants anything in a bag.
Yeah, it does the package sound kind of crinkly when he squeezes it?
Yes, and he's growling.
Yeah, so it's probably the noise that's stimulating him.
Give that to me.
That's Sammyson, Sloth Girl found a toy for Sammyson. That's just a stuffed fabric tube, but it's got a layer of mylar inside of it. So when he squeezes it, it makes that same kind of crinkly foam as, crinkling up cellophane.
That and all his treats come in bags that crinkle.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but Sammy just thinks that that's the greatest thing that humans have ever invented. It's the only toy that's ever held his attention for any amount of time.
Ah. Hi. Okay. We are going to be desperate today and hand out a meat stick, and hopefully that'll keep them from fighting too much.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nerdy? Yeah, Nerdy, we're still working on getting that chip removed. It's proved to be a little more difficult than we had at first anticipated, but we can still help you.
I didn't know Nerdy was chipped.
Well, he must be. See, that's the thing that, you know, the Saurians that implanted the chips didn't really understand mammal brains well enough. So the chip screws up their sense of taste, and they like bizarre combinations like pineapple on pizza.
I like pineapple on pizza.
Well, then you've got a chip too.
Okay.
Do you have strange dreams at night about being picked up in a spaceship?
No. It's food, not a toy.
Cats have trouble making that distinction.
Yes, she does, because she's weird. Anyway, ow!
Well, you know, for cats it is all connected. The whole idea is that they're supposed to hunt, eat, and sleep.
No. Well, yeah, but, sorry, no, it wasn't at you.
Yep.
This is one of those rare moments where they're not being behaved. I think they're entering their teenager years. We're at like 4.5 months.
Yeah, I guess that would be like adolescence for them. Yeah, do we need to send a rescue squad?
No. Just trying to get by on cat food and cat treats right now. Just trying to stay out of harm's reach.
Yep.
But, why potatoes?
Oh, it was just one of the calendars I found on Google said today was National Potato Day.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, that's, you know, I like looking those up and just coming up with obscure holidays.
All I know is that they're great to cook. I think I was talking to Angie about potato salad last night. Linda, do you eat a lot of potatoes?
No, not really.
Really?
Yeah.
When do you eat potatoes?
When I have what, I don't know what it's called, in hagebøf.
Not sure what.
Make it? How do you make it?
Just grind up beef, turned into a little circle, and then fry some onions, and then potatoes and gravy.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that the nightshades are the most delicious of all the vegetables and fruits?
No.
Because I'm a big tomato fan and a potato fan.
Ooh. Yeah, me too, actually.
And I know some people are like, oh, I don't eat nightshades. And I'm like, They're so delicious.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
And homemade potato salad is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except potato salad's something that seems to be difficult to make in small batches.
That's the other thing we were talking about.
Yeah, so living alone, it's a little hard. I really like potato salad, but
It's like peppers and tomatoes and eggplant.
eggplant?
Eggplant's a nightshade.
Oh, okay. Is in the Nightshade family, right? Okay.
Paprika's in the nightshade family, and so is cayenne pepper.
Okay. Hey, Doc.
Hey. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Sweetheart.
Hello,
how
Faye.
Are you? I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. My brother just left, so I can hop in now.
Yay.
Otherwise, the poor guy would have had to sit in silence.
Yeah, well, you had company. We understand, yeah.
Oh, well, it's just my brother. Nobody important. And incidentally, he would have made that joke before I got a chance to it. So.
I think that's funny.
We excel at self-deprecation humor.
Do you like potatoes?
Do I like potatoes?
Yes.
I do like potatoes.
Do you cook potatoes or?
I haven't in a long time, but I have cooked potatoes, yes. Many a time. And I, of course, love my French fries.
Do you ever bake potatoes and then next day have a whole bunch of baked potatoes left over and you slice them up and you throw onions and peppers into a skillet and you cook those a bit and then you throw the potatoes onto the other vegetables and fry them up?
I have never done that exactly, but I have chopped up potatoes and fried them like chips.
Okay. What about you, Linda? Purple?
And dip them into mayo. Oh yeah.
And potatoes go well with mayo.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that
It's
a French
real good
thing?
snack.
I don't know if it's a French thing, but I mean, there's mayo in potato salad, unless you do the oil version.
No. It's definitely has to be mayo
Yeah, I'm with you on
and
that.
sour cream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my mom
You're
makes
talking
it.
my language.
My mom makes it with the mayo. I've always liked her potato salad better than the store's potato salad.
I don't like the store's potato salad.
Yep, they do it, what, German style, is it? Where they do it with oil or vinegar or whatever that is. Vinegar, I think.
Well, my mom does that. It's
Yeah.
mayo and a bit of vinegar, celery, potato, mayo, and white pepper.
We're making Angie hungry.
Oh, and a little bit of minced onions. There's an onion recall. The CDC put it out today. There's an onion recall.
Mm-hmm. There has been for a while. Our local Taco Bell has been without onions, and that suits me just fine because I like cooked onions, but I don't like, whatever raw onions. Rawr.
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 I don't like raw but onions either.
I don't like
onions in all.
raw onions.
I like
No.
onions in all shapes and sizes and flavors. I'll eat them raw. Especially the sweet onions. They're so good.
I like red onions better than white onions.
Depends on, well, as I said, it depends on the sugar content. Red onions are, I think, best raw. They're so good.
Yeah.
I mostly like the yellow onions, but I have to not eat too many of them.
See, I will cut them into quarters with potatoes. And when you cut them into quarters, I put them in the oven with already cooked potatoes. You know, when you cook potatoes, you should cook more than what you're planning on eating, because leftovers and cold cooked potatoes you can turn into like lovely things. And I'll put them on a baking sheet. No oil, no extra, and just bake them. And the onions get all caramelized and sweet. And when the edges go just a little bit black, everything's done. And then you take it out, and you can either like season it with like dill and salt and things like that, or different types of things you just throw in there, and it's just so yummy.
Okay.
You can also like add it to like cooked black beans and do a big salad thing for a whole bunch of people. But yeah, I like my potatoes, and I like them with onions and peppers, and basically I'm a big fan of the nightshades.
Yeah, sorry, I got Sloth Girl just came in, had picked up some groceries for me. So I need to catch up on the side chat. Okay, Doc, did you see on TRS what's your favorite preparation for potatoes?
Probably French fries. It's
Yeah, it's
bad, I
classic.
know, but
Do you like the big thick steak fries, or do you like the skinny fries, or do you like the matchsticked?
yes. And waffle fries, and yeah, I like them all.
Just fries.
Well, for her birthday, I had gotten Sloth Girl, one of those 10-in-1 combination things, combination cookers, because one of the things it has in it is an air fryer. So now we can do, now we can do French fries without all the oil.
Yep, I was actually going to mention that a couple of people have told me about their air fryer and how they can make fries pretty much just like normal fries, just without all the grease, and that actually sounds pretty awesome. I'm tempted to try to get one myself and try it.
Well, and I was pretty skeptical. I didn't really think it would turn out the same, but yeah, the texture and the flavor is, there's not much difference.
Still crispy on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Air fryers are amazing.
Yeah, They sound really cool.
My sister put in like pre-prepared pot stickers, and instead of like because they're usually like boiled or steamed, so instead of the gooey outside of the pasta, you get like a cooked shell, and it turns pot stickers into finger food, and it's delicious because you bite in and you get that crunch. Like we
Ooh,
find
crunchy
ourselves just
pasta.
yeah, we find ourselves throwing all kinds of things in the air fryer, and they all turn out so delicious. Like tater
Nice.
tots are amazing, and they don't take as long to cook. And then we got the vegetable tater tots, the ones with broccoli and cauliflower in them. And they're so good. I'm a
Nice.
big fan of the air fryer.
Well, I am now too. It's it's been a new thing for us. Only tried it a couple of times.
I want to make eggplant in them. We haven't done eggplant yet. Another nightshade.
Yep.
Mmm.
A pork
That
roast
should
in
be
the air
interesting.
fryer. I hadn't really thought of the air fryer for meat.
Oh, that is so good. We haven't put meat in her. Well, she's done it, but I haven't been with her when she's done it because usually we've gone into the garden and picked things out of the garden, and we just start chucking things in there and throwing on seasoning and see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'd like to address Doorknob Head's earlier quandary about the flavor of fried air. I don't have an answer for that question, but I do have a similar quandary. Recently, I bought some instant water, but I don't know what to add.
Ah.
It's an old Stephen Wright joke.
Yep. Or the dehydrated water for desert travelers.
There you go. But what do you add? And Aunt Jer asked me about Arby's. Yes, we do have an Arby's, and yes, I do like their curly fries.
Yeah, Sloth Girl loves their curly fries. I like Arby's, but as far as fast food goes, they're on the more expensive end.
Yeah, they tend to be. I don't go there very often. I'm a Wendy's man, or thing rather.
Oh, do you ever enjoy their hot sauce or hot oil? At
From Wendy's?
Yeah.
I have never tried it, I guess.
If you like spicy.
I can't do spicy.
Because their hot sauce or hot oil, it looks more like an oil than a sauce, but they call it a sauce. It's chili, but it's not like punch you in the face chili, and it's got a smoked overtone that is just delicious. It smells good. It makes it, and if you put a little bit on the burger bun, let it soak in, and then tiny bit of salt. So good, so good.
Nice. I can handle a little bit of spicy from time to time, but between acid reflux, gastritis, and IBS, I pretty much can't do spicy.
Hey, Jenny.
It's a terrible thing. Hi, Jenny.
Hi. How is everyone?
I'm functioning, even though my cats seem to have food aggression today.
I'm good.
I've never dealt with a food aggressive cat before.
I'm getting the growlies.
Really? I didn't know cats behave that way.
Oh, well, my cat Morgan was actually worse than these two. He stole a Thanksgiving Day turkey. And
really?
he was snarling and guarding his territory and attacking anyone who came near. It was raw. And he wanted it. And it was it was a bit of a drama. But yeah, when a 30-pound cat takes your turkey, there's nothing you can do really other than put on the oven mitts and try to negotiate.
Jeez. Get a hose out.
He was a big, big boy.
Well, that's why I said hose, not the water.
Oh, it wouldn't have worked.
Mister, yeah. God.
But that's before we learned to put a harness on him. We had to put a harness on Morgan because he was just so big and powerful and athletic and
Was this like a Maine Coon cat or just a big cat?
a Russian blue.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think Russian blues really got that big.
I don't know if he was mixed in with anything, but he was massive.
Yeah.
Like, we have a family photo where he's laying across 4 women's legs. Me, my mom, my aunt, my grandmother. Me being the only normal-sized woman.
That's a lot of cat.
That's a lot of cat. That's
Yeah,
a lot of cat. And
that
there
sucker
was
could
only
feed
one vet in our area who was brave enough to take him.
that sucker could feed a family.
He could kill a family. Are you kidding?
It could eat a family.
He stole the turkey and he didn't want to give it back. It's not like we could eat it after he, catified it, but
Yeah.
you don't want, it's like, bird bones in tiny little belly. Okay, big belly, but still no warmth.
Well, you also don't want him to get the idea that was okay for him to do.
Actually, if it eats it raw, it's safer than if it eats it cooked.
We were afraid of him eating the bones because he started with the wings.
That's what I'm speaking of, the bones.
Yeah.
Raw bones are much more digestible than the splintering effect that's caused by the drying out cooking process.
Yeah, well, also, when the bones are raw, they don't splinter to have the sharp edges that they will after they're cooked and dried out.
We weren't going to take the chance with Morgan. We just wanted to get that big lump of meat away from him. Not to mention, it was on the rug.
I had a friend that used to have this fairly large Shar-Pei, and he had the thing on what he called a natural diet, and its diet was basically 1 raw chicken a day. You just kind of toss it to him, and the dog would eat it.
Yeah, one time I was in a pet food store, and this woman was doing the samples and, trying to sell me on this, that I should put my cats on this all-natural diet, that it's so much better for them. And I told her that my cats were already on a natural diet. I just let them run in the park and eat whatever they can catch. And she flipped out. She was just totally aghast at that. And I'm like,
if he can catch it, he can eat it.
They're outside. There's no way you're going to stop that.
All I know is we didn't want him eating that on the living room rug. I still have the scars.
Yeah.
So, Doc Fearsome, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yep.
Did you get through that nasty weather down there?
It didn't hit us up here in the north, but I think we got a loud thunderstorm probably around that time, but we just got typical rain, so it is pretty shitty what happened down there. Pretty wicked. Never thought a hurricane would hit Iowa.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that until after it was over, and considering we're right next to Iowa, I was rather surprised. I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, I had heard very little about it myself until Orla posted that thing on Twitter. Like I didn't realize quite how bad it had gotten down there. I heard people were without power, but I didn't know that 10 million acres of farmland got toasted.
The people are still without power today.
Yep.
Yeah, they say it's so bad that it's going to affect the agricultural markets come harvest.
Yeah, like 43% of this year's yield got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, but like all through COVID, there have been videos of farmers dumping milk and dumping crops, right? Dumping apples, dumping all kinds of things. Then you also have the salmonella outbreaks on top of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you're not just talking about like climate change affecting it, but also the fact that we can't harvest the way we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but we also can't transport the way we normally do because we've had more than one shutdown of transporting goods because of COVID.
Yep.
And that's just talking about the fruits and vegetables. We're not even talking about the meat industry.
Yeah. Well, the meat's going
Yeah.
to get worse because since they've had, like you say, so much problem with just not having enough people to take care of them, they've actually been like mass slaughtering the hogs. So usually most of the hog butchering's done in the fall, and there's not going to be that much of it in the fall this year.
Now
That
I
doesn't
don't
make any
understand.
sense. Yeah.
It is what they're doing, but I don't understand it because why can't you just keep the damn things around another year or whatever? What's the imperative to kill them?
No
At
idea.
this point, I think the problem is more that it's being difficult for them to get enough feed for them.
That's what I was going to say. The expense of taking care of them in feed and all other things.
Yep.
Pigs will eat anything. Literally anything. They'll eat anything.
Yeah. Well, and their medical care too. If they need, antibiotics and whatnot. All of that is more difficult because of the pandemic. So.
I don't understand the rocks would be murder thing. Nerdy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm behind on my memes. I'm 50 now. I can't keep up.
I can't see the chat today. What did Nerdy say?
So vegans can't eat rocks because that would be murder. I don't get it.
Well,
I
then
haven't heard that one.
it's not a good thing to eat atheists.
Okay. But you do
Yeah.
know that you can basically raise potatoes in a bale of hay or even in a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can grow potatoes in a bag. People know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that done with them growing in a burlap bags hanging.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
You don't have to hang them. You just have to have them in a bag. And as they grow, just keep adding soil and they'll make more and more potatoes. If you get a long bag, and then when it's time to harvest, you just slit the bag open and take out your potatoes. Or if you don't want to ruin the bag, you can just dump everything out and then take out the potatoes and then sweep up the dirt.
I like the bale method. because you get all that good mulch when you're done.
Hmm. But like, it's kind of easy to grow potatoes, so at the very least, people could be growing potatoes.
Hmm.
No matter where
Yeah,
you are.
well, that's why they became such a worldwide staple, because they were so easy to grow and they would grow in almost any climate.
I think it's very funny because staple crops are usually starches.
Well, that's what potatoes are.
Yeah, and most of that just goes with they tend to be easy to grow and store.
Hmm. But usually, starches.
I think the fall vegetables are my favorite. All the rich squashes and tubers.
I
I
like
don't.
acorn squash. That's one of my favorite vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like squash.
Just got to
I
make
like
it
squash sometimes.
make it taste it like pumpkin pie enough. It's great.
I once received a squash as a tip for a pizza delivery.
Mm.
Did you eat it?
No, I ended up forgetting about it, and it just sort of rotted and died. I was gonna eat it, but I forgot about it.
Oh.
That's kind of a neat tip.
Yeah, food for food.
We have a guy here in town that sells veggies, and every fall he has this area over near the um, car body shop and heating contractor, and he puts all his squashes out on the table in a little box. Says $3 for the squash, $2 for that squash. Put the money in here, and the whole town goes and buys his squashes. And there's a couple $100 sitting in this bucket overnight, a couple of days in a row. It's neat. It's so small town.
Why do they call it squash? I mean, is there some sort of boot stomping activity in the process I'm missing?
I always thought
in the preparation.
I always thought they called it squash because xylophone was taken.
Because xylophone was taken? That makes sense.
Oh, squashes are gourds. And
Yeah.
according to the internet, and I could be wrong, squash comes from a Native American word, and I can't pronounce it, which means eaten raw or uncooked. Squashes are one of the oldest known crops, 10,000 years by some estimates, of
Really?
spice in Mexico, and since they are gourds, they are most likely to be served as containers or utensils because of their hard shells.
Groovy.
I don't know if you could get a butternut squash or a acorn squash to harden up that way, though. Could you?
I don't know anything about acorn squash. I usually don't eat squash.
Well, I think as far as using it as a bowl, that would be for an uncooked squash.
Mm-hmm.
The acorns are those green ones with the ribs.
Yep.
It does seem like an ironic term for that particular food, considering it's a hard shell.
Oh,
And
maybe
it's not squishy.
when you cook it, you can mash it. Maybe that's it.
Well, why is an asparagus called an asparagus?
Well, do you want me to look up the etymology?
Sure, if you're up for it.
Okay, and then afterwards I have to go.
Maybe at some point asparagus became famous amongst a group of people with a surplus of people named Gus.
Except it's correctly pronounced asparagus.
Asparagus.
It means
Asparagus.
shoot or sprout, and considering its shape, that makes sense.
Ah.
And that's how it's harvested too. It comes up in the spring, and you just break them off.
It's actually hard to grow or get to the point where you can harvest it every year, but once it's in, you can harvest it for like 20 years.
Oh, I've heard people say they can harvest for 50. I don't know, but I've heard some people say that.
a mild estimate, not an exact.
A conservative estimate.
I was just making shit up.
It goes all the way back to Greece and Rome, so Egyptians were cultivating it for medicinal reasons. All I know is with some people, when they eat it, it makes their pee smell really bad.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Oh, that's a good question, Hans. Is somebody who is a vegetarian who's eating vegetables a cannibal?
I don't like picking on vegetarians, but I do like to occasionally remind one that's overly fussy. Because I grew up vegetarian, and I like vegan restaurants, but I like to remind them that when they eat their vegetables, like their salad, that those leaves and everything are alive, unlike meat, which is dead. And I had a friend go, no, vegetables are dead once once they're picked. And I said, really? Because if I can put a carrot top in water and regrow that damn carrot, which you can, it's not dead.
Mm-hmm. Same with celery
And
potatoes.
all kinds of things.
And potatoes.
It is a truism that life feeds upon life.
Mm-hmm.
Vegetarians are people who are just committed to only eating things that can't run away.
Banana plants walk. Some trees walk.
I did hear that about banana trees, yeah.
Yeah, they walk.
Yeah, that banana trees can actually walk like up to a foot a year.
What's that other one?
I gotta find my keys.
Isn't there a Jewish walking garlic or onion or?
There's all kinds of plants and trees
walking
that walk.
artichoke or something? I forget.
There's all kinds of plants that walk, and you've got some plants that will communicate, like when a giraffe is around, the other plants and leaves will go bitter and things like that. And people don't realize that there is and part of me is saying this with skepticism because I don't exactly know how it works. So until I do, I will be a little skeptical. But there is an underground internet made of mycelium. Fungus helps plants communicate with each other and also transport moisture and nutrients to other things.
That's what I've heard too.
Yes.
So there's a whole extra thing about that, and I've seen videos about that, and I've watched the science about that. So my skepticism is fading as time goes by. But when I first heard it, I went, what? But yeah, plants can communicate with each other, which also means they're sentient, which means you're putting a living thing in your mouth and mashing it. And I eat my vegetables all the time, and I feel no guilt.
Well, see, that's the thing I question is when somebody starts calling them sentient, because there's what somebody else is defining as communication, because communication does imply sentience or intelligence. I don't consider it that they're communicating with each other.
I do.
They're reacting to their situation, and
Which
the other
is
plants
sentient.
are reacting. No, not necessarily.
Well, how isn't it?
Well, presented with a ignition source, a molecule of hydrogen goes pop. Is that? So that's not sentience either.
You
It's,
touch a mimosa leaf and it folds up. You do this, you do
you,
that.
you,
A
you touch
giraffe
a maple
eats.
leaf and it doesn't.
Never mind. Never mind. I wasn't actually making a point. I've got to go.
I love you, Faye.
Okay,
I'm
Faye. Thanks.
pissed. I love you too, but I'm pissed because I was making a point. But go ahead.
No,
Oh
I'm
well, I'll get over it.
I'm done. I'm just here to cause trouble.
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of people think that like animals aren't intelligent because they don't do math and calculus.
Oh well, see, I disagree with that
You
too.
know, I think everything is capable of something in some way. Whether it's my leaves are going to go bitter because a giraffe is coming by. I mean, come on. That's not just popping a molecule.
Yeah, actually the whole thing of them communicating through the fungus in the ground. I have read some things about that, and like about trees, that if insects were attacking one tree, that other trees like up to 3 miles away would receive a signal and start ramping up their defenses against the insects.
Mm-hmm. That's a certain type of thing going on. I mean, granted, they're not writing poetry, but there's something going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I gotta go. Seriously.
Okay.
Bye.
Purple.
Good to see you, Faye. I do have a question about the word sentience, though, and I do want to research the etymology on it. But it kind of sounds like the word sentience really has to do with having senses. Like if you have senses, you're a sentient being. You have sight, hearing, smell, which doesn't necessarily denote any sort of special intelligence or consciousness.
Well,
you know what I mean. The kind of chemical reaction you're talking about, Jenny, may just be, it may just be that we have a more advanced version or complicated version of that same phenomenon that we're living under. So it wouldn't necessarily mean that we're particularly intelligent, sentient, sapient, what have you.
No, sentience does not refer to the senses.
Okay.
It's a different word. Sent, S-E-N-T.
Right.
Sentience, or I don't know what the root word is for sure, but senses is not sentient. It's just, I think sentience implies a central place to process information. I could never call a plant sentient because it has no where it's processing this information. It's merely a cell reacting to a condition.
Well, here you go. Doorknob Head just put up sentient meaning capable of feeling. So that has to do with the senses.
No, that's an emotional statement. Although there is the sense of feel, when in that sentence structure, they would be discussing the emotional feeling.
Mm. Well, I don't know that there's an underlying, fundamental difference with that either, with your senses and your feelings and your emotions. You know what I mean? Emotions kind of depend on senses too.
Well, you could say that any input whatsoever has an effect on emotions, but that's not necessarily the same. Correlation is not cause and effect.
All rocks matter.
Rocks could be considered meat to Galactus. because he eats planets.
Yeah.
Whose rocks?
Galactus, the World Eater.
If he eats worlds, he's got to have some really big rocks. Wow.
Well, you know who Galactus is, right?
No.
A fictional character from Marvel Comics. Yeah. He's a dude that is actually older than this universe. He's the last survivor of the previous universe before it collapsed back into a cosmic egg before our Big Bang begat the current universe.
Oh, sorry, I can't bite it. That's pretty much talking about God.
Well, he's not God himself, but he is a cosmic entity. He's like a fundamental part of the universe.
He's God's buddy.
I think he would be more. He could be considered a god in the sense of polytheist gods.
Potentially, yeah. Depending on how you define God, and Marvel Comics does allude to there being a God. They refer to him as the one above all. And the closest thing they've ever depicted to God, it would be the Living Tribunal, who has stated that he represents the one above all. He would be like the second most powerful being of the Marvel Universe.
Sounds like
and then
a bunch
you
of
also have
bullshit to me.
Eternity and Infinity.
Oh, aren't those those twins that were raised by wolves, right?
Well, no, not exactly. They're abstract beings. Infinity is time, and eternity is space, I think.
Yeah. See, this is one of the reasons that I don't bother getting into stuff like Marvel or DC to that depth, because as soon as you start doing that, you're pretty much living a religion.
Oh, no, you're not.
Really?
Not as long as you know it's fiction. And and I'm not making any offerings except, okay, buying movies and comics.
Yeah, just
that's no different than enjoying. That's no different than buying any other book or movie.
Just passing that plate around.
Honestly,
the High Priest just died. Was that last year?
The High Priest of what?
Of Marvel.
No, Stan Lee died in.
Oh yeah, Stan Lee.
Yep.
Yes. Now I'm going to get all sad because I love Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he was in all the movies. They should create a CIG of him and keep him in the movies.
Actually, they did create a CGI of him for Marvel's Endgame.
Cool.
And that was part of it, that they had Thanos snap him out of existence.
Oh, see, now they shouldn't have done that either.
So they made his death part of the canon of the universe.
Well, all right. I understand, but it would just be neat to keep around.
Yep.
See, now don't give too much of that away because I haven't seen any of that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen half of the Marvel movies. Although my favorite role that Stan Lee did was they did a cartoon that was obviously geared for younger kids called Superhero Squad.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee had a recurring role in there as the mayor of Superhero City. And cool. I thought he was great in that. He was, pretty much a comic relief character, but just the way he played it, he just had some really good lines.
The character J. Jonah Jameson, publisher for the Daily Bugle and mortal enemy to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
was, at least the appearance was patterned largely after Stan Lee, and a bit of the character as well.
Yeah.
He was a big self promoter. He showed up in a lot of Marvel stuff over the years. He was the narrator of the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and I think there was a standalone Spider-Man series that kind of spun off from, and he was involved in that too. He was like narrator for that too. So
Yeah, he liked to have a bit to do in all of them.
oh yeah, he fully admitted he thoroughly enjoyed, promoting himself. So
I liked him in Big Bang Theory.
I didn't see that episode. There's a lot of Big Bang Theory I haven't seen, though. I haven't watched it in several years, actually.
Yeah, I just got the last season on disc, so I've got the whole series on disc now.
Oh, do you?
But actually, there's a lot of episodes of like the last 3 seasons that I've never seen.
Well, I tell you what, I'll come up there and we'll have a Big Bang Theory marathon, because there's a lot of all seasons I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'll have to join that too. I think it's kind of a drive, but kind of a trek for me. But
Cool.
I think I can make it. It's what, a 3 or 4 hour drive?
I think it's about 3 hours if I'm right about where you are. So we're about an hour west of the Twin Cities here.
East.
Yep, and I'm some 30 odd miles, give or take, from the Minnesota border. So,
aren't you east of the Twin Cities?
Nope. We're west.
I thought you were northeast.
Nope.
Okay, well that explains some confusion I've had.
Yeah, no, we're pretty much west of St. Paul, just a little north. But basically, yeah, if you just follow 94 west out of the Twin Cities, you'll come into St. Cloud after about an hour. Yeah, Doctor Strange has also always been my favorite.
yeah, I dig Doctor Strange, but I'm a webhead. Spidey's my guy. Spidey's my favorite superhero of all.
I like Doctor Strange and the Defenders.
Yeah, the Defenders was interesting. I didn't get a lot into them back in the day, but I had the Marvel Universe comics, which is pretty much like an encyclopedia of all the characters.
Yep.
So I got to know the Defenders through them, and I always thought they were really neat. They're like an even darker, like Marvel has always been a little bit darker than a lot of other comics. Certainly compared to DC. DC is a lot more optimistic and cosmic. And Marvel does have its cosmic elements, of course, but most of their stuff is really more down to earth and gritty. The superheroes deal with real human problems. Iron Man was an alcoholic. Spider-Man pretty much had a ward in Aunt May, because Aunt May was old and frail and sick all the time. So he always had to take care of her and take care of real life things.
I heard that they made her young and sexy in the last Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, Marissa Tomei, however you pronounce her name, played her. So, and she's still pretty young.
No, actually, she's I think in her 50s now.
Oh yeah, but she's still quite young and very young looking. So
She's a hottie.
I have to agree.
Yeah. Well, that's what I had always liked better about the Marvel comics was that, you know, even with having the superpowers, they were always human. They always had to deal with the same day-to-day problems. You know, it's like when he wasn't being Spider-Man, Peter Parker was worried about flunking out of school and being able to pay his rent.
Yeah. And just imagine having to juggle your busy day-to-day life as it is and somehow find time to go out and fight crime in a costume.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of logistically impossible.
Yeah, because it wasn't really like a job you could schedule.
Yeah. Although eventually they did with the Avengers, and especially whenever they had to have a government charter, you know, so they don't get all arrested for being vigilantes. And then you could become a professional superhero by trade. And then, of course, there was Power Man and Iron Fist and those guys and their heroes for hire thing.
Yeah.
They actually made a business out of it. So
I didn't know Guardians of the Galaxy when I first saw that first movie. I didn't realize that they were in the Marvel universe.
Yep, and they were originally very different because originally they were from the 31st century, so they were from an alternate timeline in the future. And the cast of characters was very different.
Yeah, I remember them from the 80s comics, so I had a little trouble with the version in the movies because they're not at all what I associated with.
Right, but they are in the comics that way. They like kind of did a reboot in I forget when it was, probably early aughts. So like as they're done in the movie, it did start in the comics years before, and they got really popular in the comics, thus the movie. So
yeah, I wasn't following the comics for a couple of decades there, so I missed that whole part.
And they have characters that have been in Marvel for a while: Drax the Destroyer, Gamera, Rocket Raccoon. Those characters have been around for a very long time, since at least the 80s, probably the late 70s.
Now, why does Rocket Raccoon exist? What's his backstory?
I forget what it is originally, and I actually don't know much about the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
What I picked up was that basically he was the result of a genetic experiment.
I would say.
That he started out as a raccoon and somebody was manipulating his intelligence.
Yeah. I wonder if the High Evolutionary had anything to do with that, though. If he was tied into any of that.
Actually, I think they did mention that in the first movie.
Interesting.
But personally, I think he is the scariest character in the comic book universe. Hey, somebody who has the intelligence of a human and the ethics of a raccoon, that is terrifying.
Yeah. Exactly.
He does have a lot of chutzpah.
Exactly what I thought when I first ran into him on that show. Let's hope raccoons never evolve to that point.
They've already got too much going. They've got the hands. They can get most anything open.
Well, and they got the adorable factor, too.
Yeah, and they also have the cat thing of being able to flatten out their rib cage. So basically, any hole they can get their head through, they can crawl through.
Whoa. Yeah, I've wondered about other animals, the potential of other animals evolving into an anthropomorphic form, or at least a semi-primate form. I wonder if raccoons are kind of on their way to that.
Well, I don't know. The intelligence is or higher intelligence, I should say, in the animal kingdom, it does tend to be a mammalian feature.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that crows are exceptionally smart, and can demonstrate it, but that there's still leaps and bounds lower than a dog. They have their beak and stuff that allow them to do things that a dog can't. But I think if a dog had those tools, also they'd be just as capable as a corvid.
Yeah, they surely seem to. Dogs seem to have a more social evolution, and they've demonstrated the ability to read our facial expressions, but they've evolved right along with us for thousands of years, or alongside us.
Yep. And they can now eat potatoes. You realize, well, from an evolutionary sense, that is really the single thing that separates domestic dogs from wolves, is that because they have lived with humans for like the last 10,000 years, domestic dogs are now able to digest starches. They've evolved to eat the food we eat.
Interesting.
Wolves cannot digest any kind of grain.
They're purely carnivorous, huh?
Yep.
You said
they can.
You said grain. Are there? Yeah. Are there some kind of plants they can eat, or?
Yeah, it's just the starches. They don't have the amino acids to break the starches down into sugar.
Interesting.
So my little dog is part wolf.
All dogs are to some degree.
He can't digest potatoes.
I wonder how much that varies between breeds.
I imagine there is some variance.
Yeah, the big dog can, but the little dog cannot.
And sorry for everybody in the side chat. I was trying to pull some links out, so I hadn't been watching the side chat for a bit there.
Do zombie dogs eat grains? Yes, they eat grains, and they even say it. Grains.
Well, no, they're undead grains.
Excuse me. Well, that kind of petered out here, so.
Ooh, that's sharp.
Jenny had me imagining what an undead plant would be like. Well, what would that even be like? Because fruited plants, you would think, would not grow out their fruits anymore.
What is that movie called?
Well, isn't a raisin an undead grape?
Yeah, kind of.
Could be. Zombie grapes.
But is a craisin an undead cranberry?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
if a raisin is undead grape,
Yep.
Yeah.
and a prune is an undead plum.
Well, what about a sun-dried tomato?
Yes. Exactly, nerdy. That's what it's called.
The difference between a zombie tomato and a sun-dried tomato is that a zombie tomato would be a necromancy dried tomato.
Oh boy.
Well, what if instead of a sun-dried tomato, your daughter did it?
Then I'm afraid you're heading into realms of insanity even I cannot decipher.
I don't know. I think there's got to be something statutory in this.
Oh.
I think I just finished sharpening my thumbnail sharper than it's ever been before. I cut my lip when I tested it.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, you're not supposed to cut yourself with those things.
I know. It was just a test.
Well, to address Hans's query, I think undead is a distinction from alive because it's maybe kind of like undone, like you took a dead thing and it's no longer dead.
But it is.
So you've undone the death.
But it is dead. It's just undead. That's why you can't kill it, because it's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, for undead, there has to be some kind of reversal of the process.
It's dead yet animate. So some portion of the concept of death has been reversed.
Look who knows so much. Turns out your friend is only mostly dead.
What was that from? Oh my God, I saw that
Princess
recently.
Bride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Miracle Max.
Yeah. That's where I remember it from. Oh, I love that movie. And I absolutely agree it should not be remade. It's perfect the way it is.
Although the movie has a dark side that nobody thinks about.
I remember you mentioning it before, but I can't remember.
When Wesley comes back.
Oh yeah, he was the Dread Pirate Roberts. Yeah.
Right. And she's saying, but the Dread Pirate Roberts never leaves survivors. So how many people did Wesley kill in the 5 years he was away?
Yeah. Indeed.
Well, you'll never know he was away. And don't ruin the movie, because I haven't seen that one either.
You haven't seen The Princess Bride?
No, and I get harassed about it all the time.
Yeah, you need to fix that.
I know.
Yeah, most definitely. It is a great movie. It is just simply great.
Yeah. It's a very unique take on the classic fairy tales. But the writing is excellent. The dialogue is extremely well done.
Wasn't it made as a kids movie that adults tuned into?
I think they were actually surprised that it got such an adult following. I think it was intended more to be kind of a teen movie.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem overtly kiddish. You know, it's not like what do I want to say? The like Home Alone is most definitely targeted toward young kids, but it's certainly not that juvenile.
Yeah. As I understand it, it was something that the original. I'm not sure if it was actually a book first, or yeah, it was a book first, and that the original author, it was something that he was writing as a bedtime story for his daughters.
Groovy. Although, and this is my brain diverting, now that we're talking about shows intended for kids, Purple, are you familiar with anything Ralph Bakshi has done? He usually does cartoons. He did like the cartoon version of freaking not The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings.
Okay, yeah, I know I've seen, I recognize the name, but not connecting with what he's done.
Yeah. Okay, so you need to find and watch a movie called Wizards.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that one was intended as a kid's cartoon. And
Really?
it has some very adult stuff in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
not pornographic by any means, but a lot of sexual innuendos that only adults are supposed to get.
Yeah. I would never seen that one as a kid's thing because it seemed quite racy.
Yeah, it's pretty racy. Not terribly so. I mean, a kid could watch it and not be corrupted of their innocence, and probably wouldn't get any of the innuendos because it's not like overt in anything, but well, it's a little violent. It has blood.
I thought it had rather a lot of sexual innuendos and that in it.
It's fair share, yeah, but I don't think kids would really get it.
Yeah, and innuendo by definition doesn't work unless you have prior knowledge of, or further more depth in your knowledge about a given subject.
That's true. Yeah, you would have to be able to recognize the multiple meanings.
Like innuendo and out the other.
That's what I always think when I hear that word too. Like innuendo and out my endo. Now that would be an interesting magic trick.
Yeah.
Well, theoretically, we could tie, say, you and Purple together on one string if you can swallow it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was thinking something like the human centipede at that point.
I saw the first one of that movie, and it was...
I never actually saw the movie. I've only seen little clips from it.
It's very interesting. Very, very cringy, for sure.
Oh, yes, that it is.
Oh. Yeah, that Wizards was one.
Is Amiga Nuts in the chat?
He has been. He was posting links there.
Yeah. Another one I really love, done by Ralph Bakshi, was it was a movie called American Pop. Ever hear of that one?
No, I don't know that one.
Definitely check that out. It is very interesting. It pretty much like the general plot is it traces musical talent through like 5 generations. So it starts. I mean, it goes over the life of this guy, and then his son, and then his son's son, and then his son's son, and then it ends like in the 80s. It starts in like, I don't know, the 30s or 40s, maybe even 20s, and goes all the way up to the 80s. And it's like 5 generations. So the protagonist is always the son of the previous protagonist, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah, we've
and
also
yeah, and it's completely realistic, and of course his particular animation style is he actually goes out and films films people acting it out, and then he does the animation over the people. So it's a very realistic story. It's not, there's nothing fantastic or sci-fi or anything happening in it at all, and it's just a really neat show. Like, it goes through the beatnik era and in like the 60s and 70s, and it's just really cool. I definitely recommend that one.
Okay, I'll have to find that one.
American Pop.
Maynard G. Krebs.
The
G stands for
the beatnik. Yeah. Dobie Gillis. I used to watch reruns of that show on Nickelodeon when I was a kid.
I remember watching it when it was first out. And then I finally, I've never had cable, so when it was on cable all those years, I never saw it. But it finally came back on broadcast TV, and so I got to see a bunch of episodes, and I was all excited. I was going to see Zelda and all them again. It just wasn't very entertaining show. It was just, this is dumb.
I liked Dobie Gillis though.
Well, he was a nice young man.
Yeah, but I meant the whole show. But I haven't watched it in a very long time too. It probably would seem really cheesy to me now, but I liked it as a kid.
I never watched that one.
My.
That one and Mr. Ed.
Wilbur.
Yeah, that's when I remember always being on after school.
Again, I remember when it was new. I remember being excited for its premiere. Oh boy, it's going to be a talking horse, like Francis the Talking Mule, and who knows of that character?
Yeah, my mom would always talk about Francis the Talking Mule. I never saw that.
Yeah, and his sidekick was. Does anyone know? I do.
Nope.
I don't remember.
Chill Wills. Whoever the hell that is.
That name does sound familiar. I haven't heard that in a very long time. That's the name of the actor or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a physical person who interacted with the mule.
Okay, so that was the character's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Chill Wills was the comedian's name who played the character.
Yeah.
I don't remember the character's name.
Yeah, I vaguely recall the name Chill Wills. I can't picture the feller, but
yeah, I only vaguely remember the Francis movies. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, as I said in the beginning, my throat's not very good for talking today, so.
Oof.
We're going on about 2 hours, so maybe we should just wrap this up here. Does anybody have anything that they want to plug before we go?
I have one of those new buy me a coffee things.
Oh.
I don't know the address.
Okay, yeah, if we had the link for it, I could put that in for you.
Well, it's in my Twitter. If somebody wants to go over there and
Okay.
copy and paste, I do it myself, but I'm down to just one device.
Right.
Yeah, I just have my smartphone myself, and StreamYard eats up all the resources. In fact, I'm holding a phone you could probably cook a freaking egg on right now.
Yeah, I used to have that problem with when I was first getting to know my fiance and we were living 1,000 miles apart. I'd wind up talking to her until my phone overheated.
Oh, baby, you're hot.
Oh yeah, I have my TMI show tomorrow.
Groovy.
Okay, what time's that?
7 p.m. my time.
What day is today?
Wednesday.
Hump day.
It's Wednesday? Okay.
Yep.
I lost track.
Hump day.
It's the hump of the week.
Oh yeah.
Why do they call Wednesday hump day when people usually get laid on the weekend?
Because it's the hump of the week. It's the middle of the week. The day right in the middle. And the others, taper out from it.
Well, whether or not it's the middle of the week depends if you go by the American or the European calendar style. Which day is Sunday the first day of the week or the last day?
Well, that's true.
There you go, Jenny. There's your link.
I got a brain teaser question for y'all. What day of the week does not have the word day in it?
Tomorrow.
Correct.
Anybody in the chat, if you would like to contribute and buy me a cup of coffee, please feel free.
Yep, I dropped the link in the side chat there, and it's in the description now. So, okay. So, okay, yeah, and Morton put in a link for your thing tomorrow there.
Yep.
7 o'clock your time. What is that? Central.
I think
know.
they're 6 hours off from us. I'm not sure. I keep being confused.
It's 1 Eastern.
So it's probably 2.
Okay, yeah, then it's 2 Central. Yeah.
Okay. I might be able to make it. That's about an hour before my bedtime.
Okay. Well, I'm going to shut it down here. So thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody in the side chat. Thank you, Greg, for being my patron. And thank you to Amiga Nuts. It's good to have you back. It really is a lot of work when I've had to do all those links myself. So really appreciate Amiga Nuts being here to pull all the links up for us. So bye-bye, everyone.